Stop blaming yourself for running out of willpower. It was never designed to do what you're asking it to do. You've spent years trying to get this right. You've set the alarms. You've made the plans. You've committed to programs. You've pushed through when every part of you wanted to stop. And for stretches of time, it worked. You've done hard things. You've shown up when you didn't want to. And that capacity you have is real and it matters. But here's the thing nobody likes to talk about. That capacity was never designed to be your primary tool for taking care of yourself. If you're new here, I'm Julie Fikert. I'm a health and well-being coach, and this channel is for women who know what they want to do with their health, but can't quite seem to make it happen in real life. What we call willpower is actually a survival mechanism. It's your nervous system's way of saying, move now, feel it later, or we need to get through this. Your ancestors needed that system, right? They had to be able to push through exhaustion to survive a crisis. That's what willpower is for. But this modern life we're living asks us to use this emergency system for everyday tasks. We use willpower to decide what to eat when we're tired and the easiest option is right in front of us. We use willpower to drag ourselves to exercise after a 12-hour day of managing everyone else's needs. We use it to push through a way of eating that nobody in our family supports. And of course, we use willpower to try thinking our way out of wanting a cookie at 3 in the afternoon. Your brain was never designed to run on emergency mode all day long. It's a finite resource. And when it runs out, you feel like a failure. You think you're not disciplined enough, or you're not committed enough, or maybe you didn't try hard enough. But that's not what's happening. The truth is much simpler, and it's much kinder than that. Willpower was never the right tool for this job. You're not running out of willpower by 5 p.m. You're running out of energy. If you think about your day for a moment, you wake up and the decisions start immediately, right? What to wear, what to eat, how to respond to the email that frustrated you last night, whether to call your mom back or wait until tonight. You manage your kids, you manage your partner, you manage your boss, maybe all three. You navigate 1,000 small conflicts and choices and competing needs before noon. So by 5 or 6 p.m., your brain is genuinely tired, not because you're weak, but not because you're doing something wrong, but because you have done an enormous amount all day long. And this is your nervous system telling you the truth. You've spent all your decision-making capacity, not your willpower, your actual cognitive resources. The part of your brain that lets you think clearly and choose deliberately has been all used up managing your actual life. And then the pizza craving hits, right? Or the cookies, or the thought of scrolling on your phone instead of going to the gym. And in that moment, when your brain is running on fumes, the easiest option is going to win. Not because you lack discipline, but because you're human. And your brain is doing exactly what it's supposed to do when it's depleted. This is what modern life does to us. It demands constant decision-making all day long. Work decisions, relationship decisions, parenting decisions, what to eat, what to wear, what to say, how to handle the crisis that just came up. So by the time you get to a decision about your health, there's nothing left in the tank. Our ancestors did not have this problem, right? Movement, that was built into their day because survival required them to move. Food choices, those were limited to what was available. Sleep, no problem. That happened when the sun went down because there was no artificial light to keep them awake. They didn't have to use willpower to be healthy. Their environment did much of that work for them. You're trying to do the opposite. You're trying to use willpower to override an environment that is designed to make the unhealthy choice easy every single day, all day long. That's an exhausting thing to ask of yourself. And when you are that exhausted, when you're that frustrated, when that done with feeling like you're falling short, what happens? You decide to finally fix it, like really fix it, right? Once and for all. So you do what we're all taught to do when something is not working. You go bigger. When willpower runs out, most of us do the exact wrong thing. We just go bigger. Now, maybe this sounds familiar to you. Okay, think about this. You decide to change, right? You're really going to change this time. You're going all in. New gym routine, new wake up time, new rules, new everything. And it works. For a few weeks, it works beautifully. You get those early wins, the scale drops, your confidence spikes. You suddenly can do more push-ups than last month and your clothes fit differently. Your brain is flooded with dopamine and all those good feelings that come with progress. And in the morning, you wake up excited to do the thing because you can see that it's working. And this is when willpower feels limitless. This is when you feel like you finally cracked the code. But then something shifts, right? Usually around week 4 or 5. Those dramatic results, they slow down. The scale stops dropping as fast. The energy highs level out. The strength gains taper. And you're still doing exactly everything, the same way, putting in exactly the same effort, but that feedback loop, it shuts off. And the wins get smaller and they get slower. And here's the part I want you to hear. Your effort didn't decrease, your results did. So that cost-benefit ratio, it flipped on its head. You were still pushing yourself every single day, but the things that made it worth it faded. And so you stopped. And I want to be clear about something here. That's not weakness or failure. That's just your brain making a very reasonable calculation. But then comes that guilt, right? That familiar voice that says, oh, you don't have what it takes. Other people can do this, but you can't. That you'll try to do it again, when things calm down, when the kids are older, when work's less crazy. And I want you to know that that voice is wrong and it's keeping you stuck in a cycle that was never your fault to begin with. This cycle keeps repeating because we have been raised in a culture that believes that big changes produce big results, and it's true, they do at first. But we mistake those early dramatic results for proof the method works long term. We don't account for the fact that every change slows down, every plateau comes, and when it does, the method that got us there fast, got those fast results, it's the worst possible method for sustaining them. Because you can't force something forever. Your willpower was not designed for that. If you've been caught in this cycle, there is a way out, and it probably looks nothing like what you've tried before. It doesn't start with some cookie cutter plan. It doesn't start with telling you what to eat or when to exercise or what to change. I am quite confident you already know those things. You've read the articles. You've seen the advice. You know that what you eat matters and you're supposed to be moving and that sleep matters. That knowledge is not what's missing. What's missing is a way to make those things actually happen inside your real life. The life where your family does not eat the way you want to eat. The life where your schedule does not have a free hour for the gym. A life where your evenings are completely full and your mental energy is completely depleted. When we work together, the first thing we do is get clear on what it is you want to change. Not what you think you should change, what genuinely matters to you. Because change that sticks has to be rooted in your own reasons. It has to fit your real life. Both of those are non-negotiable. Then we break it down. Not into a big plan, into a small step. The smallest step that would actually move you forward, and then we talk about your real life. How does that step actually happen in the day you actually live, right? What do you need to put in place here? What's going to get in the way? How will you handle it when it does? Now, I understand if this idea of small steps sounds too slow. After you've experienced losing, 5 pounds in 1 week of some big new diet push, 1 pound over 2 weeks does not feel like success. It just doesn't give you that same rush. But here's what that comparison leaves out. The 5 pounds comes back. When the big push ends, it comes back. The 1 pound, if you keep going, doesn't come back. So small shifts that build over time create exactly that meaningful and lasting change you are chasing. It just doesn't look like what you're used to. It looks quieter, it looks slower. It actually holds. This is where the real change happens. Not in the planning, it's in the problem solving. in making those small steps fit so naturally into your life that it stops requiring willpower at all. It just becomes something you do. So let's talk about what does that look like when a small step actually fits into your real life. Well, first, you stop doing battle with your day. Instead of fighting to carve out time and energy for the things you feel like you're supposed to be doing, these shifts, they just become part of your life. There's no animosity to them. They don't take from your energy. They just fit. And something even more important happens. You stop going to war with yourself. No more internal conflict. No more beating yourself up for not trying hard enough or doing enough or being disciplined enough. For a lot of the women I work with, that part alone changes everything. That fight has been exhausting in ways that go far beyond health stuff. And when you start winning, small wins, sure, but still wins, your brain notices. Every time you do the small thing you plan to do, you get that little dopamine hit, that sense of, okay, I did it. I actually did it. That feeling, it builds on itself in ways that a big dramatic effort never quite manages to. When you set yourself up to succeed instead of struggle, everything just shifts. How you feel about yourself, how you feel about your body, how you feel about what's possible for you. Because for the first time in a long time, you're not white knuckling your way through it. You're just living your life and it's working. If something I've talked about today landed for you, I want you to know that what you're feeling is not unique to you. The exhaustion of trying and falling short, that guilt, the starting over, that is the experience of so many women who are doing everything right and still hitting the same wall. It's not a character flaw. It's not a discipline problem. It's a system problem. And once we understand that, it changes everything. Because if the problem is the system, then the solution is not trying harder. It's working differently. Making small shifts that actually fit your life instead of trying to force your life around someone else's plan. I created a free workbook to help you start. It walks you through a health assessment, helps you find one meaningful place to begin, and then guides you through building a real plan for the life you're actually living. I put the link in the description. You can download it, work through it on your own time, and see what becomes possible when you stop fighting yourself and start working around your real life. And if you want to talk through what it would look like for you specifically, if you're interested in maybe working together, I would love to have that conversation. You can book a free 30-minute call with me. That link is in the description too. Thanks for spending time with me today, and please be as kind to yourself as you are to everyone else.